So the World Day for Health and Safety is around the corner, and many of us, many professionals, we've been going left, right, back and forth, trying to look at what are those things that we need to communicate and how do we celebrate this new World Day for Health and Safety. And in relation to the topic that talks about climate change and how this climate change is affecting or will continuously affect the occupational health and safety of workers. So that is the overall theme. So the ILO, they established a report on ensuring occupational health and safety in a changing climate. And like I said, the overall purpose is about the issue of climate change and how it affects the workers. So as a professional, there's no need for you to start thinking of what can you talk about. You can break it down, and depending on who you are communicating to or who you are communicating with, apart from the fact that this climate change, we are trying to relate it to the workplace, but what causes climate change is not only related to the workplace. So if you want to discuss or educate people about this climate change, it's good that you start from the basis of what climate change is all about and what are the causes of climate change, and how do they affect the environment, and how do they affect themselves, who are the workers. So the ability to break them down into smaller bits will enable you to effectively see how best you can communicate this. So it's not something that is that huge that you need to start worrying about or start stressing yourself. Climate change, the workers' health and safety, causes of climate change, how does it affect the workers, and what can we do to improve or promote our environment positively, and also what can we do to reduce the effect of this climate change on the workers, on the workers generally, because that is focused, the occupational health and safety of workers, occupational health and safety of workers. So I will be doing this briefly in order to give us a guide on how to get about this and probably have your presentation or what to discuss. So follow me on this section and let us enlighten ourselves. So when you want to start the discussion, you can start from the general discussion about what causes climate change. There are many of our activities, what we emit to the environment. Let them understand that these are activities we use diesel, we use petrol, our activities, the emissions that come from them, there's what we call greenhouse gases. So these greenhouse gases like CO2, like the methane, all these things, they go to the environment. They go up there in the sky. If you are talking to those who might not understand technicalities, and when they get there, they don't disappear. They form a cloud, and other things that happen, there's what we call the chlorofluorocarbons. They deplete the ozone layer. There's an ozone layer that protects us from the direct rays from the sun. And all these are, when all these gases, all these that we burn, you in your various homes, you burn your waste instead of you to take it to Loma or whoever is responsible, you decide to burn them, and all these smokes, all these dust, all these gases, all these chemicals, when they go up there, they don't disappear. They are causing various effects, and at the end of the day, in summary, they lead to what we call climate change. And now, when this climate change happens, how does it affect us? Number one, there's increase in temperature. You observe that in the past few months, there has been increase in temperature. Everywhere is getting hotter. Also, there is extreme weather condition, either extreme cold or extreme heat, and these extreme weather conditions is affecting everybody as a whole, even in the workplace. So you can also talk more about that. Then about diseases, vector diseases that comes with this change in climate. So you need to tell them and create that awareness. Another issue is the issue of air pollution, like our brothers in Port Harcourt. They know what they experience over there. All these are as a result of our activities and has led to climate change. So this climate change is now having serious consequences on us. So these consequences are what you have mentioned, the extreme heat, the extreme weather conditions. Now the next stage is how does it affect the workers? Now workers work in various environments. Many work, especially in the construction industry, they work outside, outdoor activities, and they are exposed to it. Some of them work indoor, but the operation that they carry out requires high level of energy that they themselves on a normal day, they generate it from their metabolic activities in their body, and also the operations, the equipment that they make use of. Some are working with boilers, some are working with heaters, some are working with heat exchangers, some are working in various environments, some are already working in an extremely cold environment. And if that activity is now being done in an environment that is also cold again, maybe in extreme cold weather conditions, that is going to have an effect. So we are trying to create the awareness at the managerial level to understand that, see, there's extreme weather conditions, there is climate change, it's affecting everyone, there is issue that we need to address because the workers are also exposed to these extreme weather conditions, and we need to revise our risk assessment, we need to revise our job as an analysis, our job processes, our SOPs, in order to reflect the realities of these extreme weather conditions. Then after you've spoken about that, You now look at the workers themselves. What are their own factors? Remember that you said from the beginning that they also contribute to it, to the extreme weather conditions that's now affecting everybody. So individually in their various homes, they need to practice good culture that helps to promote the environment. If they have the ability to plant trees, let them plant trees. If they have the ability to educate their people, to prevent people from burning bushes, prevent people from burning their waste, all this will go a long way. Individuals have a role to play. You can also go extra mile, tell them about the effect of waste generation, plastic waste, food waste, and how they can reduce all these waste, how they can bring all these things together in order to ensure positive processes or contribute positively to promoting environmental sustainability. So you put that in layman terms for them to understand. And when you're talking to top management too, you also put it in a way for them to understand that there's need for revision, because this is affecting the workers. If you want the workers to be productive, these are the things we need to put in place. The next step is now to talk about the control measures, which are part of what we have mentioned before. For example, everyone working every outdoor activities, we need to revise it. If they work for 4 hours before, 3 hours before break, we need to increase the break duration, the break times where they have resting hours or resting period. And also there needs to be a change in the frequency of work, job rotations, and ensure that in as much as possible we prevent them from working outdoor. But when there is absolutely no other alternative for them to work, we have to put in administrative controls, which can include issue of job rotations, like I've mentioned. That is for extreme weather conditions. For those that work around boilers, around heaters, around equipment that generate heat, we also need to put all these things into control. Then we now also talk about issue of diseases. There's need for us to review the health surveillance of our workers. There's need for us to talk about health surveillance because of the new disease that comes up with changing climate. You can have extreme rainfall today, and the next day you have extreme heat. Two different climatic conditions happening simultaneously, which can also affect our agricultural processes also. So apart from telling them about what they should do individually, you are also telling them the effect on the economy. You're also telling them the effect on the society at large. So individually in their homes, they should ensure that they clean their environment to avoid getting infected with diseases. And even in the workplace, we create a much more healthier environment because of the rising climate change that can give rise to vector diseases, airborne diseases that comes with our activities. So because of that, you are able to understand these processes. You are able to communicate it effectively with them. Diseases can come from anywhere, and we have been made to understand that this change in climate can lead to strange diseases coming up. Airborne diseases, vectors, bacteria, viruses, they could come up, and we need to create controls internally in the organization by educating awareness to workers about how they should live a healthy life. And within the 4 walls of the organization, we also need to establish processes that helps us to ensure that our activities do not pose dangers, diseases, or viruses to the workers. Like I said, there are many activities that will take place. You only know yours. In some organizations, what they do can give rise to diseases, infections to workers. Apart from the lavatory, the toilet that they need to clean, the drainages that needs to be properly cleaned regularly, there's also need to look at some specific industries where they carry out activities that can lead to a spread of disease across the workers. So these are what you look out for. Look at what causes climate change, then break it down into how it affects them and how they contribute to the climate change, and how they can contribute to reducing the effect of climate change, and how you can look at the processes, our activities, break their activities down, look at how climate change is affecting them, and put additional control measures in place. Then finally, you now talk about general awareness, general talk about climate change and how to promote a sustainable environment and ensure the health and safety of workers. If you can put all this into play, I'm very sure that you have enough. Based on what you do in your industry, what you do in your organization, you will have enough to present and to discuss with your top management and with your colleagues and with your workers, and everyone will have a lot to learn in this Health and Safety Week. Remember that it's very important that we talk about this because it's a reality and it's what it's going to affect. It's already affecting us and it still continuously affects us if we do not put active steps. If we do not take active steps to ensure that things are done rightly, don't wait for the government. Individuals have a role to play. Government to have a role to play in ensuring regulations, implementation and enforcement of regulations, and also revising these regulations to reflect the realities of our own processes and what we do in our various organizations. I hope this is okay for us. If you have any other thing that you would like to add, or what I have said that is not really correct or right, you can also put that in the comment section for us to learn together. We all have a responsibility for this upcoming Health and Safety Week. or some is 1 day for health and safety, while some organizations they do it for your whole week. So forgive me if I'm saying week while you are only doing it in a day. Some do it as much as 1 week straightforward. Thank you, and see you in the next video.